Morning. Uh, yeah, it is Sunday the 19th. Um, I slept okay. I don't think it's as cold as it says it's supposed to be, but it is really, really cold. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna have some breakfast and get out of here. So, I found a couple holes in my Dyneema tarp this morning. uh, I have some Dyneema tape, and maybe this is an application error or something, but it wouldn't stick. I have some alcohol wipes, so I cleaned the area with alcohol first, and I was going to do a Dyneema patch or Dyneema tape on the inside and outside. I think this Dyneema tape's more for like, creating like taping seams. So maybe there's that. So I did it with tenacious tape. One of them most of them seemed to stick really good. There's one on the inside that looked like it was peeling off. So I took my hands and I rubbed them together. I've got hand warmers right now, try to keep my hands warm. Hand warmers never get that warm for me. Anyway, so I'm just about packed up. I wasn't going to have breakfast, but I changed my mind, as I sometimes do. So I'm going to have some breakfast. One of these. I love these. The granola with the dried berries and the powdered milk. 18 and actually I think it's like 18 and a half to Damascus. So it shouldn't be mostly downhill, so it shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, so I'm going to finish up and do that. And then maybe when I'm in Damascus, I'll look at, Dyneema patches, because I'm going to need some more. From what I understand, they say to expect to replace your big three at least once. I don't know how much that's true for sleep system, but I believe it for backpack. If you're using a ultralight kind of backpack like I have, and for the tarp, I definitely believe it. For tents, I believe it. I knew that going into this that I might have to buy another tarp, halfway, which I might do. I do have my Soul Nylon, but I really like, I do have my Soul Nylon, which honestly would probably last a little bit longer. Weighs twice as much, but as we've discussed, I'm starting to look at weight a little bit differently. I want to be as light as possible, but I also want to have things that are functional and, for lack of a better term, be comfortable. So that's about it for this morning. So here's the thing. When you're cold, everything is harder. It's like I'm sitting here trying to, put away my tarp, and it's just, it takes forever because I got to stop and warm up my fingers because I don't have my gloves. Well, I've got one glove. So I'm about 4 miles from Damascus. Making pretty good time. I'm doing like 3 mile hours, which is weird because I'm trying to take my time. My right shin is gone from an intermittent 1 or 2 pain to an intermittent 5-ish pain. So I'm stopping a lot. I'm not stretching it. A friend of mine said, it's kind of odd that we get a muscle that's tight and inflamed and hurt, and we decide to force it to stretch. So I've been doing the opposite, stopping every once in a while, actually stretching the calf, taking pressure off, and shortening the muscles of the tibialis, the front of around the shin. And it seems to give me a little bit of a reprieve for a little while. Uphill doesn't hurt. I think I start experiencing it a little more on downhill. And I'm just noticing it, I'm not, there's two other people, one person, Pinky, who's taken a 4 to 6 week break. So I can walk on it. It's not killing me like other people I've heard. But I don't want it to get there. That's the point. The most important thing for me is that it doesn't get there, if that's possible. It might not be possible, What would that look like if I had to take a break? I don't know if I could finish. That might be it for me this year, if I have to take a break that long. Or maybe not. Maybe I find a way to make it work. So I'm contemplating staying in Damascus for 2 zeros. So tonight, a 0 tomorrow, and a 0 the next day. To really give this a minute. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. So yeah, and I think one of the things to keep in mind is, like when you're in the middle of somewhere and you have, 10 miles to get somewhere, to the next place, you're just doing damage the whole time. So I would say my mood is okay. I've been filming a lot because, with the cold, although the cold's not so bad now, with the cold and with my leg, I'm just focused on getting to Damascus. So I haven't shot any, there hasn't been really a lot to see. It's pretty much the same thing that, I think I took a little bit of a video of me walking earlier, and it's basically been the same the whole time. As far as hikes go, it's been good. It's not a lot of up and down. And honestly, the last time my shin hurt like this was when I did I was doing training and I did 20 miles on a road. It kind of makes me think, I wonder if that has something to do with it. We're out of these situations where it's up, down, rocks, and now we've been on these really nice flat surfaces for a while, and maybe it's hitting something different. Maybe. Because it's the right, I wonder if the possibility of a collapsing arch is contributing to that. Although the arch seems to be better today. I don't really feel it touching my the sole of my shoe. I don't know. All this is just guessing. I'm not a physio. I'm not a doctor. So I've just hurt myself a bunch of times. So still contemplating what to do there, but taking my time, stopping, rubbing it, letting it release a little bit, and hope that that will contribute to not doing, how do I say that? Hopefully that will give me the least amount of damage from walking today. 4 miles left, and then I get to chill and take an anti-inflammatory, drink lots of water, and roll on this, right? And all the muscles, roll all of them. So, all right, I'll talk to you later.
So I'm recording this a couple days later. I did not do a good night video for that day, probably because the pain in my shin got worse. Um, I recorded a bunch of things about it on the way down. A lot of it was conjecture and talking. One of the things was I had mentioned before this feeling like there was something sticking, like the bottom of my arch was sticking to the insole on my shoe. And one of the things I discovered when I got here was that it wasn't sticking to anything. I was feeling something inside, I think a tightness in the plantar fascia. So, so there was that. But, it was just, there's a lot of things I was trying to mitigate the pain. I'd say the pain got up to like a 6, a constant 6. So not enough that it would like really mess with my gait too much, but it hurt, and it definitely let me know that something was going on and I needed to stop. So, the next video, which goes over the 4 zeros that I took in Damascus, I'll touch on some things there. So, I can tell you I was very happy to be back in Virginia.